Craig. Parrish. Hmm. Hmm. Well, seeing as our other contestant is on his way, uh, former President Eric Scott, and now serving as a representative. Mr. Scott, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. While Mr. Parrish is getting on his way here, the Vice President, would you like to give us your opening statement?
Well, my opening statement would just be, we saw these same situations they faced in their White House now when we had our administration. And, my simple claim is that we did a better job at handling the issues than they have thus far. I mean, we have trillions of dollars that are just going to topple our national debt with this Social Security issue. And what they're saying is they can just throw more money on the issue and it will just go away. But that's really not how it works. That's just one instance. They killed 3,000 citizens in Ukraine. That's not cool. So, yeah, that's all.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Former President. We will be waiting for Parrish shortly. He said he is walking his dogs, which is very cringe and not based whatsoever.
I might sound out of breath. I had to run all the way home.
Hello, Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry about the delayed response.
It's all good.
Okay. If you're tuning into the audience, thank you for joining us tonight for the 2028 presidential presidential slash versus vice presidential. It's whatever because the president can't make it. Yada yada yada. You know the news. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And the former president has already given his opening speech. I'm afraid, Mr.
Sorry,
Vice
that
President.
truck
So,
just went by.
huh? Mr. Vice President, can you hurry up and get your dogs home?
I said I was back.
Well, then you just said a trunk went by or something.
Oh yeah, well it did. I went back outside.
Oh my gosh, Mr. Vice President. Okay.
You know what? I don't get connection in my White House office. How about that?
The Vice President doesn't live in the White House.
I said my office.
Your office sucks. So,
pay me more.
So fill me in here. Is the vice presidency just like a hand-me-down version of the presidency? Are you just the ripoff?
No. I'm the sidekick that doesn't get enough credit.
I think it should stay that way.
Oh,
I'm joking. All right. Just some friendly banter. All right. So, seeing as the former president has already given him. This is why I don't debate.
it's all good.
Seeing as the former president has already given his opening speech, would you like to give yours, Mr. Vice President?
I don't need any written speech. I think I'll let my values speak for themselves. Any candidate can just throw out some BS like he does on his speeches. But we'll just dive right into it.
Alrighty, diving right into this debate. Okay. So, this is going to sound really fucking stupid as the first question. But why do you think you deserve the title of president / vice president? Okay. Since Eric
I'll let the
gave
former
his
VP go
well,
first.
the former VP or the former president? Because technically it's you versus the president.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, former president. My bad.
It's all good. Okay, so former President Eric Scott, please give your answer. You have about roughly 3 minutes.
Well, I would like to start here by saying thank you so much to everyone who's been on the campaign for helping out. Number two, getting down to it, why do I deserve to be the next president? Because we have.
Okay, thank you. Shut up. Okay, thank you. Time's up. I'm joking. It's just been a long day. I'm trying to have some fun, so I'm joking.
All right, gotcha. We have went over this policy time and time again, and I would say you look at what we did in the presidency. We had a lot going against us. I think, frankly, people like Josh wanted to be president, so they were working against us. And of course, he was the owner, so he would make events like saying we were inactive and stuff, but I saw that event and I was online. I was talking to him, and it just went up, and I couldn't be president even though I was there. But anyway, I've worked well with my cabinet, and we worked together on things. And I would say, Shapiro, there's a lot that is secret and stuff like that. We were very open, and I'd say you can trust us. So, yeah.
Because firing your Secretary of Defense is trustworthy. Okay, Mr. Vice President, your
May I
response?
just rebuttal that real quick? Because half that shit was BS. And Scott
Yeah,
knows
like
it.
I'm not gonna lie, as moderator, and I'm not trying to be biased here, but I got fired on the first day of being Secretary of Defense because I said, and I quote, "I'm gonna impeach you as a joke."
So let me just dive into what he just said just there. He said that he was open about everything. He couldn't even be open about his plans with East Timor, which I gave the idea for. Congratulations, your biggest achievement was handed to you by your opponent. Congratulations, Scott. Second of all, you said you were open. You said you worked well with your cabinet. Is that why half of your cabinet was ready to invoke the 25th Amendment? Literally, Tony Stark, who is campaigning his ass off right now for you, was the biggest advocate for it. So it's horseshit for you to say your cabinet believed in you. The only one was Frank. And even he was still confused by why you just left and abandoned the administration. You abandoned the job. You abandoned the American people just because the going got tough. That is not presidential material. That's it. That can answer my question, too, of why I deserve to be president. Or vice president, I should say.
All right, it's all good. Whenever I get back to Speaker of the House, I'm gonna impeach Shapiro anyways. Wait, what? Did I? I didn't say anything.
Reminder, everything is recorded.
Yes, I realize that. Craig, you're fired. Anyways, okay, second question. Seeing as we have a social security problem, which clearly we do, what is going to be your effort to like slow that down and possibly fix it? No, not the former president, Vice President Chris Parrish. This question goes to you. I'm sorry, it's been a long day.
I totally understand you. Well, let me first of all say that I've been in Congress. I've talked to Congress 2 times to come up with a plan. We haven't reached a plan. Yes, my plan was a temporary plan so we can fix the bigger issue so we don't bleed money. But I see my opponents using it as a way to gain political talking points to say it's the first deficit in a while, but it's really not. We had a deficit in his administration, the tail end. But I think in the moment, we need to raise the age and put more funding in until we can come up with a more permanent solution that goes across the aisles, that works together, or we're going to have the same issues 10 years later again. So I'm still trying to work with Congress. I got to talk to some of the leaders within the parties, and I'm going to get a plan out. That's what I've been focusing on. I've took a step back from the military leadership role that I've been taking in the Shapiro administration to focus on that. So it's something that should be dealt with before the election, possibly going into the next administration, whoever it may be. But we have a plan, and there's no reason to replace us when we're doing things right.
Thank you so much for your answer. Mr. Former President Eric Scott, do you have any rebuttals, or would you like to answer the question in your own words?
I would just like to answer the question now.
All right. You have 3 minutes.
So, Chris Parrish, I have no idea why you're telling blatant lies still after people like Henry, who
Lies.
runs the server, told you we were not in a deficit ever during my presidency.
Listen,
I asked him in direct messages, and please stop interrupting me.
I will interrupt you when your points are valid. Because first of all, Henry did put up
these are valid points. I direct messaged Henry, and he said we had $300 billion when I left.
That's not true because
that is true. You can ask him.
We put spending bills through that went down at your deficit, sir. Sorry if you didn't know that's how that worked.
Yeah, I
Now
kind of
that
like
didn't
wrote a.
happen, so
I, 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 I kind of like wrote a railroad bill that spent like 500 billion. So thank you can y'all can be thanking me, not each. I'm joking, joking.
Anyway, I'll let him continue with the bullshit. I mean, that's
Okay. You see, no more interrupting. I don't care. Even if his points are invalid, you'll have time to rebuttal those points and
fair point.
arguments after he is done with his answer. Okay. All right. I'm sorry for the interruptions, Mr. Former President. You may continue.
now, if you simply look at the laws that were passed during my presidency, you can see there was nothing passed that would run up the deficit. So that is dealt with. I would say on Social Security, I have a plan for this. We are going to break it up into two different brackets for this plan. We need to mediate the issue with all these baby boomers coming in and taking benefits from the Social Security plan. I mean, there's only so much there in the Treasury for that. So, my solution would be to have one bracket where it's 62 to 70-year-olds, and we would cut benefits 60% there at the start to mediate this issue. Then the other one would be 71 and older. Uh, that is along with disabled individuals who rely on this because, the answer is not to raise taxes as they did, and there's proof to back that up. That's not the answer. I'd say we can handle this. We just have to mediate this issue.
Does that complete your answer, Mr. Scott?
Yes, it does.
All right. Uh, Vice President Parrish, do you have any rebuttals, or would we like to carry on to the next question? Vice President Parrish.
I'd like to jump in. Sorry about that.
All right.
So Scott obviously doesn't understand math when he comes up with plans. The average person on Social Security makes to around $1,800 to $3,000 a month. So we'll put it at $2,500, right? Simple math. If you take away 60%, they're making $1,000 a month from $2,500. That's not a plan. That is crippling the economy, screwing over our elderly population. And as a conservative, I still see that as an issue. We need to protect them. Yes, we need to cut spending somehow, but that's not the solution. That cripples them. And if that's
I'd like to ask, what is your solution?
what is my
Go more in
solution?
depth.
So we have an issue with it. There's taxes coming out. There's employers who aren't putting enough money in to a system where they can retire on. So Social Security was never meant to be the retiring fund. It was meant to be another supplement to help you with your income that you got from your job. So we need to work on legislation enforcing retirement plans within employers. And I said that I had a Band-Aid fix for now, which is to lower the benefits slightly and to raise the age for the next year so we can get that plan out. Of course, it was rejected by you, of course, who wanted to put out his own plan for campaign purpose, I can only assume, because your plan is idiotic. And I think it's just a way for you to attack us for not having a plan when we do. And, if you just know math, it just doesn't work. And I don't know how any other Democrat or Republican who supports Social Security could even vote for you.
All right. Does that complete our this topic, or any last words for this topic? Alrighty then, moving on. Foreign aid and foreign relations. Seeing as we have a crisis going on in Ukraine, and it's still going on to this day, What is your plan to ultimately make sure that Ukraine does not fall to the Donbas and Russian forces? Mr. Vice President, this question goes to you first.
So, like I said earlier, I've been handling more of the foreign relations and defense of our administration because we don't like useless VPs around in our administration. Not that Frank would be, but what we're doing is we're talking to the Donbass, we're talking to the Ukrainian military of what's left, and we're trying to involve Russia. We're trying to get it. We're making some movement with kind of getting the Donbass out without more bloodshed. We're trying not to involve our own troops, but honestly, it's up to the Donbass and the Ukrainian government to figure out a solution, and we're just there to assist them and to make sure Russia stays out of it because obviously we've seen the negative impact they've had. And I can't go into too much detail because there is classified material there, which, and if that's a problem, there's certain things we need to keep secret so that we can have a successful intelligence and defense. But I guess Scott wouldn't understand that as well with the short tenure as president.
Mr. Former President, the question goes to you, or if you want to rebuttal it, you have 3
So
minutes.
first off, I'll talk about the
Uninterrupted.
results we had in a very short time. We had a ceasefire, number one, between Israel and Iran for 2 years. And secondly, I would like to touch on how Josh paid them $1.34 billion. Iranians, we didn't pay them anything. Just throwing that in there. But you need to stay vigilant against Iran. People wanted to impeach me over the issue of...
The question is not about Iran. It's about Ukraine. I advise you to get on topic.
Mr. Vice President, please do not interrupt. You will have time to rebuttal after his statement is over.
I'm just speaking about our foreign policy in general here. We handled the Iran issue very well. People tried to, build this up to be something it's not. But I would say the issue in Russia with Ukraine and all those people, the pressure we have being put on there, this was directly from the actions of this administration. When we left, we had good things with Russia, and then, we just had election troubles. As you could see, we tried to work for a good election. Frankly, I don't think we should be in Ukraine. The president wanted to pay them. I think they were asking for $1 trillion. He said we should give them $1 billion, and I say we shouldn't give them anything. Ukraine, if you thought Palestine versus Israel was bad, these guys, neither of them are good. They killed 3,000 civilians when they tried to stand up to these rebels, so I don't see how they're doing any good there.
You know what? I want to talk on that 3,000 people killed. So the issue is that the Donbass are using them as shields. We already were shooting at them. They packed people in with bombs. The intention wasn't for anything to come of result or for us to not kill people. The whole plan for them was to cause as many casualties to make every side look bad. And maybe we could have done something to combat the deaths, but in reality, when you look at the facts, you look at the intelligence reports, there was nothing we could have done. The only other way was to let the Donbass spread out of control. And that's not good for anybody because, as you can see, Russia's already expanding. And unless you want the next Cold War on your hands, I think we need to be involved in Ukraine. And to say we're not is just a foreign affairs nightmare in the future.
All right. Does that complete this topic?
Yes.
All right. Let's see what I can just whip out of my ass real quick. Jesus Christ, there's like no good events, damn it. You see. Oh, yes, Puerto Rico. Okay. Do you support the actions that former Speaker of the House, Joey Loeffler, has made and passed, surprisingly, to make Puerto Rico a state within the Union? Former President Scott, this will go to you first, and Vice President Chris Parrish.
You know, you look at the Puerto Rican people, number one, on their referendum, they consistently want to join the Union. And secondly, I would say there's a lot of them, you know, they're very patriotic. They love America. You know, they're just as much American as we are. They have adopted our ideals, of course, with the help of America. But I would say, you know, there's 3 million people. Very simply, you look at a state like Wyoming, there's something like 600,000 people. And I say, you know, the more the merrier in America. You know, these people may be from, you know, the Caribbean or whatever, but they're very much American, and I would say if we aren't going to accept them into the Union, you know, they might as well be their own state, free state. So that's all I have to say.
I don't have to agree with Scott here on this one. I feel that Puerto Rico for a long time was left high and dry as a territory, and it was basically they were contributing more to our economy than some states are, to say, and a couple of states combined. It wasn't really fair that they weren't a state, and there's just been issues in the past of getting them to vote themselves into statehood, and I'm glad it passed. Yeah, and when the next census or whatever comes out, they're going to have possibly more votes that are more likely to be Democrat, which is okay. I understand, and there's no bad blood there, and I'm happy to have them as a state. I'm ready for them to be officially once it all goes through the governments and everything like that. And I think it was a great opportunity on Loeffler's part to cash in on the right time. And I respect their decision, and I like it. I'm kind of upset that I didn't think of the idea first, but it was a great moment.
Alrighty. Let's see. Jesus Christ, somebody give me some good questions. Holy fuck. Yeah, I can't really do healthcare because we already kind of like covered that in Social Security. Okay, but we're gonna cover it anyways. Okay, Vice President, what is your plan to oh, okay. No, okay. Sorry. Okay. Serious time. Mr. Vice President, what is your plan to help benefit those who cannot afford basic healthcare coverage like Medicare? What is your plan to help them so they can afford healthcare?
So my plan is to we have an issue with companies inflating the price for no reason at all for profit margins. And I do agree that they have the right to make their profits, but not to the point where people are dying for medicines that they make for 2 cents. And the research is already paid for and paid back, and they've made enough profit off of it that there's no reason for them to be charging 3,000 times, the price of the drug to make. I mean, if I charged, $7,000 for a gallon of milk, people would be outraged. And it's sad to think that people aren't the same way with the medical field. So I want to talk with drug companies. I don't want to force their hands unless I need to, which I don't want to do. But I want to come up with a compromise that allows profits to still go so that we can still have a strong economy, but also to help people who are poor who can't afford it. And another thing is like the economy is a big factor. So we've been working on raising up the median income in families in the United States so that we can cover the cost and maybe, cut back on healthcare for people at the top and expand it for the people who are on the bottom, but still have, them pay into it just a bit to what they can afford, so they're not, freeloading off the system, because that's not right to the American taxpayers. So that's a little bit of what my plan is, and that I've been talking to Shapiro about. I know we'll probably end up talking to Joe Kennedy about his plan with his foundation.
Kennedy Care.
He has. I'm sorry. You can continue on to the former president if you'd like.
All right. Butt fuck me in the ass. Okay. Former President Scott, the question goes to you.
First off, I would say the answer here is not to control the drug prices of stuff like insulin, because when you do that, it's a short-term fix, of course, but ultimately you're hurting the economy and you're just rising the prices up higher, because these people have to supplement really what you're doing there. I would say it really is about compromise, just as Chris Parrish said, and working with people. That's really the way to combat this, looking at it on a moral stage, I would say. That's all I have to say there.
There's no
Alrighty.
rebuttals.
What?
I said I have no rebuttal.
Alrighty. So, regarding this, it's both kind of sound like you have somewhat mixed socialistic views on this. So, I'm going to ask this question. Do you think that America should start focusing on becoming a free capitalist country, which arguably we never actually have been? Or do you think it should remain in the world as a mixed market economy? Former President Scott, this question goes to you first.
Very simply, the freer the market, the freer the people. You heard me there a second ago talking about exactly that. I would say nothing can be handed to you in America, and I believe the people do not expect that. There was things proposed I would call socialist. Shapiro said he wanted to give every single child under the age of 14 free health care, and I really don't think that's the solution. We need to make the markets as free as possible. We need to incentivize things. And I mean, if that means we have giant businesses, then so be it. We just need to ensure that entrepreneurship is possible in America. And we have to assist our small businesses. So I would say, there are some places you have to help out, just for the willingness of our markets and the what do I say? The confidence of the people in the markets. So I don't believe it can completely be free, but we should definitely incentivize business. That's all.
All right. My Discord decided to be an asshole. All right. Vice President Parrish, this question goes to you.
So I kind of agree with Scott. The free market completely is, it won't work completely. I think we need to make the market more fair for companies as well. We shouldn't treat them any differently just because they're making more profits. They're still a business, and to cripple them a bit is wrong. But, we hear this thing that's, socialism is bad, anything socialistic is bad. But I don't think that's true. There's aspects like emergency services, in water lines, in roads that are socialistic programs by the U.S. that are necessary. I mean, I don't want to pay $50 every time I use the road from some private company. I don't want to have to pay for firefighters to have to come out any more than what my taxes are. I mean, I shouldn't have to pay, $1,000, we're going to let your house burn down. I don't want to have to pay private security to protect my neighborhood, or for people who can't afford it to just live in a neighborhood with no protection. So I feel that some aspects of a controlled market are necessary, but I think that we need to watch ourselves in the way we try to limit corporations. And that's kind of why Shapiro and I pushed for a corporate tax cut. It wasn't a lot because we increased the spending in defense because there was issues going on that we wanted to deal with. But I feel that now that is not necessary, and we could probably go through with more cuts in the new budget. That's pretty much all I have to say about that topic.
Thank you for your response. Okay. Trying to think of a solid question. So if anybody in the audience has a serious question, and I mean serious, Mikkel Hunter, not a biased joke, I would gladly be accepting questions at the moment. And
May I ask one?
between the former president and vice president, if you two would like to have open
May I ask
discussion.
one?
What was that? Well, anyways, yeah, go ahead.
All right, so this is a question for the two candidates. What are your policies, and how would you end this one problem that we have? Human sex trafficking, child abduction, and pedophilia.
Oh shit! That's actually a
Can
good
I
question.
field this one first?
I'll let him go first.
We cannot give up anything when it comes to our traditional values that this land has been built on. The issue of weed and other things, making that okay to children is, and our adults too, is really bad. I would start by saying that the law needs to stand against bad substances. Alcohol, cigarettes, those have been assimilated into our culture. But again, we cannot give up anything. Prostitution, we see very bad things that are happening. Women who are being abused and killed, blackmail, all that. And you talk about trafficking. We just need to stay vigilant and on the side of the law. We really can't give up anything. The more we protect our society, that's the better we're going to be. That's all I have to say.
Would you maybe consider death penalty for any of those type of people, like murderers and rapists and traffickers?
Scott, you want to answer that real
Yeah,
quick
the
before
death penalty.
All right, I agree a lot with Scott here. It is an issue. It's a moral issue that I feel that the left has kind of ignored with attempts to legalize prostitution. Believe it or not, the raising of wages makes it so that people abduct children for labor, and then they end up in sex trafficking as well. So, everything kind of resorts back to money as well. We need to crack down, make the penalties harsher. I personally, believe that these sex traffickers and these pedophiles is way worse than death. They deserve more than that. However, we have a constitution that does protect them with the Eighth Amendment from cruel and unusual punishment. So, I do believe that they deserve the death penalty. I think that capital punishment is necessary in some of these heinous, disgusting crimes, because those things can't be corrected with rehabilitation in a corrections facility. It does not work. It's been proven. These pedophiles get out after 30 years and they go back out and then go rape another child or rape a bunch of women. That's not okay. And we need to fix it.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And I think that we need to also have, more law enforcement cooperation through federal and state governments to combat this and to work together with information to catch these guys that are profiting, making billions off this industry. I mean, there's the porn industry, which is also an issue, but I won't go into that too much tonight.
Can I ask another question, or do I have to wait?
Go ahead and ask one more question, then I gotta ask a few more questions.
So regarding what do you call it? Regarding Amendment 2A, I don't know if you guys covered this or not, but would you, under your guys' administration, put full automatic weapons back on shelves, and or will you get rid of what President Trump did, which was ban suppressors and bump stocks under your guys' administration?
You want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
I believe that all automatics have already been made legal in this server. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think he's the president pro tempore, or whatever how you pronounce it. Henry Bell has made automatic weaponry, like semi-automatic weaponry, fully automatic again. So fully automatic weapons are back on our shelves in our gun stores and everything.
Okay, so what about bump stocks and suppressors?
I think that we need to add them back, and instead of avoiding the issues of guns like we do, I think we need to talk about more gun safety as well. I think it's irresponsible to add those back in, and I believe in guns wholeheartedly. Like, I don't give a shit if you have all the automatic weapons you could ever want, that you'll more than you'll need. I just think we also need to teach gun safety as well, which we haven't really done in our school systems, at least. And I also believe that because we don't address mental health as well, we don't address mental health with guns. So that's another issue we need to work on. But besides that, hell yeah. I mean,
Do you believe any gun law, like any gun restriction, is an infringement upon the Constitution?
guns specifically, no, but explosives is another thing because those are weapons of mass destruction. You know, I wouldn't go
Talking
give.
about guns, though. We're not talking about explosives.
Yes, but when you talk about weapons like guns, it leads to other weapons that people are saying that why aren't those also legalized as well? And I think that there is a line, stuff that's reasonable. Fully automatic gun is not, out of the question. That's great. Have that. But we need to teach safety about it. I mean, there's
So would
no
you
reason.
add maybe gun safety to our school systems as well?
Yes. So I've been working on a education plan to change some of the education system's curriculums or incentivize them to change it on a federal level. And I've been working on it for a couple of years with some stuff, and I still got to talk to Henry Bell about some stuff he wanted to put in as well. But that's the plan. That's the goal. We need to teach about it, not just ban it, because that's not fair to the people who are treating them respectfully, treating them like the tool that they are. It's just about responsibility and teaching that responsibility. That's important.
All right, and Mr. Eric Scott,
I would say on that issue, there's always going to be bad apples who will do bad things. I would say the great majority of Americans, the great majority of Americans can handle themselves and can handle these weapons. You are infringing on a right when you do that. I do understand these are dangerous weapons that can be used for bad things. But, farther than teaching safety, which I do support, there's just going to be bad people and they're going to find the guns regardless of what the government tries and does. So I would say, absolutely make it legal. Anything and everything to do with guns, make it legal.
Thank you
Glad
both,
we
and
can
then
agree on something.
thank you both, and then I'll let other people go, and if there's no questions at the end, I'll ask another one.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the questions, Patriotic Overcast. Moving on. A question has come in from Senator McKell, whatever. Sorry if I messed up your name. But the question is that what do you think of the terrorist organizations such as BLM, the Ku Klux Klan, and Antifa, Proud Boys, and any other terrorist organization in the United States? Do you think that they should be silenced and kept out of the way, out of the media and everything, or do you think that they should still remain as headlines and they should be able to practice their First Amendment rights?
I'm going to hop onto this one first. So these are terrorist organizations. They use fear, they use violence to get their point across. Right? And there's other groups that do it too. And I don't think that deplatforming them is 100% right either, because they have their own freedoms. But we need to step in and call them out as well. I mean, we see as leaders sit here and just let them rage on and destroy things, kill people, and they do nothing. There's nothing that we're doing to step in right now. The federal government's not working with state governments. And we can't take away the freedom of press, because violating their rights to keep somebody else's rights is also just not correct and not American at all. So we need to find out a way to talk to them, give them, an opportunity to speak with the government and voice their opinions without also trying to tear down the government and tear down other people's rights. So it's a tough topic. I mean, even as a black person, I don't support Black Lives Matter. I mean, it's just started off with a good cause, just turned into violence and nonsense and hurtful to the whole purpose of what they were trying to do. So I think we just need to figure out a way for protesting and speech to be heard, but not infringing on someone else's rights, because that's bullshit. At that point, it's not a movement; it's an issue. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you so much for your answer. Former President Eric Scott, this question goes to you now.
Now, the issue of censorship was brought up in the House. Would the House censor the KKK? First off, I said no to that because I feel when we give these people attention and we label them, we're just creating a whole lot more trouble and violence than we would otherwise. There was a vote on Proud Boys, Black Lives Matter. I still said the same thing. No to censorship. I would believe you shouldn't give these people the spotlight and you shouldn't give them the gratitude of the government looking at them that way. I would call them terrorists. I say simply, if you call them terrorists, they're going to act like terrorists. I believe, regardless what the organization is, they're causing damage to America. They're destroying things. And at that point, when it's not just the Ku Klux Klan meetings in the basement or over in the woods or something, the law and order stands up. That's all it should be, law and order, I believe. We see the massive damage, and, I'd say we just need to stay firm with our law against these people. I believe these are people that love America, all of these people, but they are very, very ill. It's a tough issue. That's all I have to say.
All right. Thank you for your response. A question has come in from the Majority Leader Josh of the Senate. And his question is, what are your plans on education? Would you reform or expand in the United States the education system?
I'm going to jump into this as the person who's been a champion of education in our system. Education's important. We have seen all these other countries who've grown their economies through education. If we don't invest in the future, we're going to get left behind by China, by Russia, by every other European country right now. We should be making 3 times the GDP we are now, but we're not building the education system that we need to do that. Our education ranks below countries that we're sending scientists to teach, and then they're outbeating us with our own technology, our own education, and that's sad. We need to find ways to expand on education, but not break the bank as well. And we need to stop funding bullshit stuff within the education system. I mean, there's, we're paying these administrators and stuff the salaries of 6 or 7 teachers. So now there's teachers who are trying to live off a life of $30,000 to teach the next generation. I don't know about you, but $30,000 is not a lot to go to school and get $120,000 in debt to go teach and make $30,000 a year and never be able to pay off my debt. We need to do more for teachers. We need to do more for students. We need to invest more in technology. We've got schools that are not technologically advanced. There's some schools that are got the same materials that they have back from the 90s and the 80s. That's not okay. And we wonder why we are getting beat by Southeast Asian countries in a lot of our STEM fields, which are the future. And I think we need to work on it. And I don't think this is a partisan issue. I think this is an issue that both sides need to come to the table to.
I would like to start by saying my father is a teacher. In the state of Tennessee, we have certain laws that are just ridiculous when it comes to education. For example, if you are special ed in Tennessee, you are not allowed to graduate from high school. You will not get a diploma no matter how good you perform in school. I say that as backwards, and I say we are hurting our worker base by that alone. We need to stay vigilant versus China, and we need to adapt to programs where we are really teaching the trades, and there's a lot of people, and we need a lot of blue collar workers, and people aren't motivated anymore to work those type of positions. The average age of a construction worker is 59 years old, and that is just ridiculous. So we have to, incentivize this. So I would say we need to work with these businesses, number one, and then we need to work with our schools to, again, give them the better technology they need. A while ago, during my administration, we passed some radical, legislation to address this. It was called the Technical High School System. We gave each state the choice to join it or not to join it. If every state was to join it, the total expenditure per year would be $15 billion. And that may sound like a lot, but we are teaching kids who want to be in the trades when they're older about these things. We have doctors, we have construction workers, heating, air conditioning, and everything. Ventilation, I'm sorry. But we have all these different jobs, and we need to specialize more. There are people who are dropping out, and it's because we just learn by the books. And that is not the way they do it in other nations, frankly. In China, they're beating us, and we just need to stand up to them and get smarter. That's all I have to say there.
I'd like
All right. Thank you for your response.
Yeah, let's move on to the next question.
A question has come in from the Otto Leonard Wright. All right. Sorry about that. The question has come in from Otto Wright, from a Democrat from Florida. And his question is, what are your thoughts on illegal immigration, and what would be the best way to deal with them? First,
So on this
come first,
issue,
sir, for the
we had people
question.
like Moose. I don't know what name he goes by now, but he's the FBI director. He had this plan where we could take these illegal immigrants and put them up in Alaska in sort of a survivor thing, I called it. We were going to ship them up there in cargo ships or something like that and fix them or something like that. They were going to build houses for us. I think that's outrageous. I mean, number one, these people broke the American law. I mean, they crossed into our nation unfairly, illegally. And I get the situation over there. The media likes to tell us, things are terrible in Latin America and everything. And I accept that. I mean, there's a lot of drugs, a lot of bad things, but there's a lot of bad people who will exploit our border to spread those bad things into America. I would say anyone who crosses into this nation illegally, we of course look at it case by case, but we need to value our law. We can't let these people be slipping by into America because that's when our interest is under attack. I mean, these people are completely shifting our tradition, and I don't say I stand for that.
I'm gonna have to agree with it. I mean, we have an issue. They have an issue. I don't think that we need to give them a home. We're not under any obligation. It's a courtesy that we have allowed in the past and up to now still. But I think we have our own faults that we can fix to mitigate the issue as well. We have slow response times for immigration, which we can work on. I mean, like the judges are doing 3,000, 2,000, 4,000 cases at a time, which is just unfair to them, unrealistic to them, and unfair to the immigrants who are legitimately trying to come here. As for the people who are coming here illegally, I think that, we shouldn't bar them completely from ever coming back, but I do think we need to send them back immediately, and they have to go through the right processes. I mean, breaking the law is not a great start into trying to get into a new country and start a new life. So, I mean, we need to heighten border security. We need to fix our own judicial system within immigration. And if we don't, we're going to have this problem continuously. And it's not just going to be from the southern border. We're going to from Europe. We're going to have it from Asian countries. It's going to continuously happen year after year after year. After I'm gone, after Scott's gone, after the next president's gone, we need to fix the issue. And if we don't, we're going to have a bigger problem. So we need to tackle our issues, but also stay firm in our own laws as well.
All right, thank you so much for your response. I believe that this wraps up the entirety of the time that we have here tonight.
I have a question.
What was that?
Oh, I was gonna say if we had time, I would ask.
Well, I believe that the other candidate is still here. So if Eric Scott, you want to answer his question, I got to go take this call from the vice president.
Okay.
I guess my question, mainly is, why should I vote for you instead of, the other guy? This is a question for both candidates, and the one just left, so I guess just the one. Eric Scott, why should I vote for you instead of the VP?
Well, I've got some sheer motivation here. You know, we've made over 50 speeches in this campaign in just a matter of 3 days. A lot of different contributors working together for a common cause. And number one, I think that's very powerful. Number one, I've been hitting on the same issues. I mean, we've got to help our farmers. We've got to help our small towns, our small communities, people working at 9 working 9 to 5 jobs. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, the economy, frankly, I'm not proud of it. You look at the action we've taken in our administration to help out things. Best metrics.
That's
That's
incorrect.
surplus.
Incorrect. Try again.
Well,
Y'all are
speak for
clearly both
yourself.
incorrect. The best metrics we've ever had was under my administration.
What administration?
Folks, please, this is a question for both candidates.
Yeah, my bad. I'm joking around. Okay.
Your
I'll
metrics
stop
are not as
interrupting.
good as usual ones. Sorry, bud.
All right. I'll let Eric. Was that the completion of your answer?
No, I just want to go on a little bit.
All right, go ahead.
You know, I've got all these people who were very motivated to be here. You know, people like Frank Underwood. I've been working with him for years. He stayed in the cabinet for quite a bit of time, he was. And, you know, I feel like we can work together to get a lot of things done. We handled every single issue, and you can ask Frank on this. We handled every single event there was.
We
So that
sure
speaks
did.
for itself.
Let's not forget that your special advisor here, me, also helped you and also gave your VP candidate, who was the Secretary of Defense, plans at the time. I also gave your FBI director plans at the time. So would you
You
not?
also put us in the $6 billion
We used
deficit.
Frank's plan.
Well, Mr. Vice President, I'm not sure you gave me any advice. I know you did play an active role in that, but
No. I
don't
gave you the plan. You asked me questions further about the plan, and then gave it to the president.
No,
And the
because I
president-
remember writing the plan with Frank, clearly.
Listen. You wrote the plan off of what I sent you in DMs. I mean, you can say what you want, but that's the truth.
here, let me go look, because you might have me confused with someone else, because I honestly don't remember that, but
No.
You may
be
I
correct.
I,
Okay,
told
we're-
you. I went to the president. The president told you what he wanted done, and what he told the FBI director what he wanted done.
You see-
he approved out the plan by me.
well, actually, the
Parrish
first time
and
you
I
ever
should have
messaged
won
me
in 2020. Okay.
The first
All
time
right,
you ever
that-
messaged me was actually that would be the 2024 election, which would be.
Fuck.
So
You see-
I mean, Ben Dover, he drafted a plan, so you might
All I
be thinking
did
of
was
him,
ask
but
a
I know I
question.
drafted a separate plan with.
You came up with the plan from the details from Ben Dover's plan, whose plan came from the president, who the president
No.
got it from me. It's all right. I understand the president probably did not tell you that because he's not good with his cabinet members. He might put it on, and it's pretty much proxy-led cabinet. That's all
I
right.
literally got fired in the first 3 hours of Secretary of Defense.
It's okay. Half his cabinet wanted him out, including Mr. Stark, who's busting his ass for him. But I guess they have amnesia. Frank was the only loyal one there the entire time.
I never said I wanted him out. I
You
came
didn't?
back to everyone saying they were going to invoke the 25th, and I said, what's going on? And then I said that I
Mr.
wanted to
Stark.
figure out what happened. And then when I figured out that he left, I said, let's go through with it because there's no president. Simple.
Mr. Stark, you said good that he left because we were already invoking the 25th.
I
Okay.
said good.
Okay, may
because
I
he was
butt in?
gone.
May I?
Okay. Can I have my questions answered?
Can we actually answer patriotic?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
All right.
One
so
more
Scott-
thing. One more thing from
Okay.
me. You see, if we voted for Loeffler in 2020, we wouldn't be in this sort of situation we are in right now. Okay. If I was
Also,
president,
If you had voted Henry Schroyo in
Stop,
2020, we wouldn't be in the situation
Please.
either. Just something
My
to consider.
lord.
All right,
But
if
that
we
part
wouldn't
Austin's
have
not-
voted for a president who can't even pick his closest advisors correctly, we wouldn't be in the issue that we're having now, and he wouldn't have the backlash that he had now.
If we didn't
Exactly,
vote
you should have
for
voted for
Shapiro, we
Loeffler.
wouldn't be in a $6 billion deficit.
Hey,
You're
can
doing
we
more
just, like,
campaigning than
get
Shapiro
questions
is.
answered?
Parrish,
the
why don't you
deficit-
just run separately?
okay, we're getting too off track. I needed
The
to say
deficit
one
came
thing
from
and then Henry
Congress
butt in.
because Congress
Okay,
didn't
we need
want
to go.
I
we
think I'm
need to
done
go.
with it. I think I'm done with the debate because now it's going into lies versus facts, and I'm not going to see you spitting facts while he spits lies. Congress has not gone on with the plan. I have a plan. The deficit is running off because of Congress. Congress holds the purse. Sorry to tell you, that's how the Constitution works, bud, but that's how it works. Have a great day. Thank you. Hope you vote Shapiro, and have a great day.
All right.
So-
Well, he just left.
What
He
a
said,
couple.
"Have a great day" twice.
Yeah, I know. No,
So-
he
I
went
really
to
want
us
you to have a great day, I guess.
So hold on. back to my question, since Vice President is back. I asked Scott earlier why he should vote for me over than you, or sorry, why I should vote for him over. Okay, never mind. Wow, that
I'm out.
was.
Told.
That's a little rude. He keeps leaving.
Yeah,
I think that says something about their campaign.
I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna announce this if I got invited earlier, but I would love to run for president of the server if I could, you know.
As someone who's been the server for fucking ever, I highly recommend that you spend a couple years in Congress first, because you won't be taken seriously.
You will never
Alright.
win. Trust
Watch
me.
me.
Okay. Okay.
Sure.
Patriotic. This is coming from somebody who's 0-5 to the presidency.
Sloyo, watch me get the presidency without ever being in Congress. It's gonna happen.
Justice,
Okay.
good enough. Shut up.
It's gonna happen.
Okay, patriotic. Listen to me.
Frank
I went
2032.
I'm currently 0-5 to the presidency right now. Okay. I
Alright.
ran. I'm doing worse than Bernie Sanders. Okay.
Bad.
Yeah.
John, I'm gonna block you.
Pretty sure you already have me blocked.
No, I don't. Okay. This time I don't have you blocked.
Can you friend
Or
me?
maybe I was gonna ask if I can't get I guess put into a president spot right away, where do I go to run for House or Senate?
Oh,
You go
yes.
to the election
You
HQ
see the
channel.
election HQ?
Well, it's actually too late to do it right now, because ballot already
The
submitted.
ballots already are due.
Yeah, no,
alright.
they already submitted their fucking nominees. It's too late for the next one.
2020. No, there's 2030.
You'll have to wait for the midterms unless you're
yeah.
appointed to the Supreme Court or something, which you'd have a job then. But other than that, you'd have to wait until the midterms, which is unfortunate because if you came just a couple days before, you probably could have got a congressional campaign.
I'm trying to get the server to speed up because I don't really like the fucking. Josh, I know you're hearing this. Josh, I don't really like the 6 day year. I think it should be 4 or 5 days. I think 6 days is a wee bit too long.
So when's the
Yeah,
next
can we go
election?
back to where it was every 4 to 5 days? Because that's how John had it, and it was a lot better then. Because it doesn't feel like I'm waiting for 10 years for an election to happen.
Yeah.
I'm listening. Yeah, Josh. That's been my only big complaint about the way Josh, the way that we're doing it now, is how it's a 6 day year. I think it should be 4 to 5 days.
I think
also,
4 would work. 4 would work
28
because it would be
days
1 day
between
every 3 months.
Yeah,
1 day is 3 months. That would work 4 day year.
Yeah, 4 day year. Yeah, because right now it's 28 days between each presidential election. That's a fucking while.
Yeah, exactly. We could just do
Jesus.
16 days. I mean,
Yeah,
16. That's 4 years. 16-day term. That's not bad. Because to be honest, the only time people really get that active and care that much is when elections are here. That's the most fun part.
Also,
The Oval Office is pretty active, regardless of.
Josh, can you DM me about becoming a mod? Because I reacted to that, and you said you would text everybody.
Well, this was a fun debate. Bad ending,
Well,
but fun debate.
All right. Seeing as both candidates did really well, despite this being a VP versus president debate, whatever. Yeah, they did really good. Only one side was respectful. You should be voting for Scott and Underwood, but
Absolutely.
Austin.
I second this.
The only reason why I'm voting for Scott is because I know Underwood, and Underwood's a homie to me. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Austin.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
yeah,
don't really know.
Are you gonna
Scott
go 0-6?
that much. Scott.
you know it. I'm
Scott.
going 0-6.
Austin,
Hey, Scott.
unironically, I think if you ran with the current Democrat Party, I don't know if the Republicans going to get around 80 people, but I think if you ran with the current Democrat Party and didn't pick an awful VP and didn't throw the election, you could probably win.
Yeah.
The
You-
story
you might be
behind
able to
how I
do
had to
it.
pick my first one was that everyone was retired, and everyone told me no because they thought I was going to lose. So I had to pick
Honestly, you
Baker.
should have picked me that early. You should have picked me earlier. God, that would have been fun.
No one thought you were going to win. Honestly, you winning 2020 is a fucking shock. Like,
And by that much,
Like-
too.
I didn't even make like the big group chat with the fucking like campaign people and the party chairman. Like, I just didn't get put in the effort.
Well, this
Well,
time we really did put
This
in the
time we
effort.
put in more effort than like
We put too much in. We're gonna landslide now. Too much.
Honestly,
know
Fingers
if we're-
crossed,
I mean-
knock on wood.
I don't want to fucking tally up all the speeches at this point. How many of you guys made? Like 60, 70?
We at least made 50
We've made a
plus.
lot.
I made at least 20 speeches by
I
myself.
think I made like 15.
Listen, Shapiro he bluffed earlier saying that he was gonna have a speech
Oh,
in
he
all
made
50
such a big
states.
Yeah.
He
No, but
said
the
he's
worst
gonna
was
have
that there's a
speech in all-
60-minute or 30-minute limit on the speeches. He
Hey,
can't
I
even
know, Parrish
put them
did
out.
that.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
go. I'll see y'all later.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the thing is, people bought Shapiro's bluff because in the last timeline, like during the middle of it, Shapiro ran for president. I think it was like 2032 he ran, and he did something like 50 speeches and managed to unseat Parrish.
Yeah, well, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah. That's
You
what
can
He's
tell
not
he
gonna
bluffed
do-
though, because right
like,
when
It's
Yeah, I'll let you talk.
he might have planned on it at some point, but there's no way he expected that tomorrow was going to be the election. So he thought he had
that's
more
when
time. He thought he
Yeah.
had more time to prepare 50 speeches, and then
Yeah,
now he's kind of like, this ain't gonna work.
Yeah, that only
Mm-mm.
happened because Josh is a dummy, and like a week ago, he accidentally forgot to do game time twice. So up until now, the thing was like 4 months behind.
wasn't the election supposed to be in 4 days or something?
Yeah,
It was, but I'm
yeah.
kind of glad it's tomorrow.
He
Yeah,
fucked. Oh, not even gonna lie. He fucked over.
Yeah.
He fucked him over really bad.
Shapiro.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not
Shapiro,
complaining.
I mean, yeah, I'm not complaining either. I mean, I honestly want to see a blue wave tomorrow. That'd be so fun.
We might
then
pick
right
a
after
bit lot
that-
bigger states. We thought
Yeah.
we're definitely
Right
gonna
after
take
that, we
all.
need to go to court.
Oh, he
We're
tried
gonna
to go
take
for
all the 4 states. All
he
those.
tried to go for
You're
California.
not taking it down, I think.
He tried to
think
go
we
for
will.
California. Can you believe?
Okay, boys.
He tried. Of all places, he tried to go for California. I can't believe that.
I'm genuinely gonna run in 2032. I
Also,
know that.
Frank, I thought you were gonna run on that ticket.
I might actually.
2032.
I might. So I'm considering a 2032 run. That would be
Hey,
wouldn't be bad.
Hey,
Underwood
hey,
Stark.
Frank.
Underwood Stark.
Hey,
I'm
Hey,
I'm
Frank.
actually considering that. I thought that you might not
Oh,
be a
sir,
bad.
yes,
oh man.
Let's go
Oh
for it.
man.
I'm
Hey,
not.
hey,
I'm not
Henry.
promising anything this early. I'm not promising
hey,
anything this
Henry.
early. But
Hey, Henry.
Yeah?
Barry / Schloyo.
Not 2032. I can't risk losing my fucking Zen seat.
Oh yeah, true. Hey Parker.
Yes.
Oh, don't go that far.
no,
No. Don't get
Nah,
that.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
no.
Hey,
No,
Scott.
no,
Oh
no.
no. Oh no.
Hey Scott.
no.
Hey,
Nah,
Scott.
Scott would support me for president if it was a run.
Hey,
For
hey,
real.
shut up. Shut up.
Josh asked me to be his
What?
VP.
Josh.
Yeah,
Josh literally
Josh.
joined the Democrats.
I've never asked anyone to be their VP.
Josh joined the Democrats, and then as soon as it became unpopular for him to be in the Democrats, he
Yeah.
dipped and left back.
Okay, one sec. So here's something funny. So when Democrats renamed our fucking majority, I don't even know if we still have a majority in the server because of the fucking massive cord. There are 42 Democrats and there are 30 Republicans. So yeah. So we only recently regained our majority, you know. But beforehand, but when we regained it by like 10, like 11 players was the peak. Ben fucking did like, darn it! I knew I should have swapped to Democrat.
Hey Frank. Hey Underwood.
Yes.
Underwood.
Yes.
So you know how if you win, you would technically, well, you'd be the first VP. What if well, not the first VP, but what if, okay, we made you an indefinite VP?
I would absolutely agree to this. How about we add an
Okay,
amendment to the
Barry
Constitution?
/ Underwood. Barry / Underwood 2032.
I mean, maybe I would like an amendment to the Constitution saying I am the lifelong VP. Vice President for life.
Technically, there's no term limit on being a VP.
That is true. I could just be everybody's VP, and if
Exactly.
anyone didn't choose me as their VP, we would just all
They would
riot
magically disappear.
and they would magically disappear. Yeah, I like this idea right here. I'm gonna be
Exactly. That's why you should be on my ticket, man.
I'm gonna be what Dick Cheney wished he
Until
could be.
Henry Bell spends 20 hours trying to find constitutional law against it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, technically, Article 69, Clause 420, and Section 71 says no.
He takes shit too serious.
Man is a legit LARPer. Okay, guys, how about this? Whenever the new whenever the new the Congress and everybody gets